by the Transformation Professionals Club. We are a club that is focused on helping professionals connect, learn, grow, and earn. All right, so we are live on our YouTube channel. So welcome to this session, our YouTube audience, as well as our audience here. I'll just switch on my camera such that you're able to see me. And I'm glad that we have our speaker here, Moses Waswa. You're most welcome. Thank you so much for joining through very fast. We're always glad to have you here. So to learn more about breaking ground in the job market. And our focus on the strategies to land your first job. Now, I know we have some people who maybe already, maybe they have done their first job and they're looking for their second job. So this session will still give you some insights. But we want to see if somebody is a fresh graduate just from university, how can they be able to land their first job? How can they break ground? You know how they are constructing a house and or constructing a hospital, and they say that we are going to break the ground. So every great thing starts with a ground breaking. So how do you break ground? And that's what we want to basically listen to today. So we have a great speaker, Mr. Waswa Moses, very experienced. He's doing great work. If you in LinkedIn, you must have seen Moses, unless you're on another LinkedIn that I do not know. So Moses does really great work under Swift Minds, and he has a great story here, which is our popular local show here in Uganda, in case you're following the session through from international residents. So maybe I'll just mention a few things that I know about Moses, and I'm going to invite him to be able to just share about himself, because I always believe that we know ourselves more than what even the world knows about us. So we just give a chance to what the world can know. So Moses Waswa is the CEO of Swift Minds, and I'm using his LinkedIn page to just give you a picture of what he does. So you can call him a public speaker, you can call him a career business coach, and you can call him an entrepreneur as well. So he runs Swift Minds, which is his own practice. And he also works as a director, public relations and marketing under the Human Resource Managers Association of Uganda. Moses is a proud member of the Uganda Marketers Society, and he has worked with quite a number of other entities. Of course, he holds a master's degree in business administration, management and operations from that university that indicated there. Moses is ambitious, and he was a candidate for the Maogola South in the 2021 Uganda parliamentary elections. I don't know if it's coming back in 2026. But I'm so much glad to have you, Moses. Moses is a father and a husband, and he is a Christian. Moses, you're most welcome, and thank you so much for visiting us today as the Transformation Professionals Club. We're always glad to have you, and we really appreciate the time that you create for us. Moses, are you there?
I am. Hi, Samuel.
Hi.
Hi Tim, how are you?
We good.
So I am
Uh,
already
uh,
I'm already at home and glad that I'll be having this conversation with the team here, and I know that we are going to learn so much from each other. So I'm home. I think much as I can hide, you'll hear a few cries here and there, but I'm sure that that will not distract us from learning. I I usually love my evenings at home, with the kids before they sleep. So I sort of would love to have be in a fancy room, but I think this is the best that I could get. But you are welcome, and everyone you're welcome. And I want to thank Transformational Professionals Club and Samuel as the team lead for the invitation. Thank you.
nice. I like your background. Despite you being home, you choose to show us the Swift Minds background, and well done. Thanks so much for that grade. So Moses, we have invited you to share with us on this topic, and I'll be sharing insights as well. Recently, I think Makere graduated quite a number of students. I don't want to go into the statistics, but we all know that when you look at the job market, vis-a-vis the graduates that are coming through, there are a lot of conversations around it. But even for the few opportunities that are there, we want to see how can our graduates get into such opportunities. So I would like you to just be able to give us an insight around your journey. Some years back, I know that when I checked your LinkedIn, that was about 2011 to 2014. So ending 2014, here you're getting into the market. I don't know if you immediately got into the market or went for masters immediately. But I would just want to hear from you how that journey was. What are some of your lessons? And if somebody is also in the same shoes, just as you were those years back, what would they be able to learn? Okay, as we have Moses back, I think one of the things that
Hello.
um, I think we share. Yeah, I lost. I think your camera was off, but
Yeah.
good to have you back.
I'm
Yes. So I was asking to just share with us your experience. Somebody who is in the same shoes is listening.
Yeah, so thank you very much again. So I really want to assume that everyone here on this call is at the same level so that I really streamline my message. So I really just wanted to have that confirmation that everyone on the call uh, probably they have just graduated. So I need that confirmation so that I can streamline my message accordingly.
Okay, we could just ask some people here on the call. You could just type if you just graduated, you're looking for your first job. What kind of category do you fall into? I know we have a mix of them, but given this webinar being targeted to fresh graduates, so we also have quite a number of fresh graduates from the registrations that have come through. So as we hear from people, I think that could just give you a background that most of the people who are here, they're either fresh graduates or they graduated some time back, but they have not yet landed into their first job, or they have done their first job, but they are still fresh. As you could see, they are still looking for entry roles.
Okay. Thank you.
Your microphone is on mute.
Yeah, so thank
Yes.
you very much. I most of the times when someone has just graduated or their career is just starting, it's really, really important, first of all, to overcome your own self, your own fears. And, the job market is it's like an ocean. It's like an ocean of challenges, but it's also an ocean of opportunities. A lot of times, so when people have just left campus or when they're just starting out, it's like you don't know what to do. Everything is jumbled up, and based on our African education system, sometimes people people are not well guided, really, and that's because the education system is basically streamlined on finishing school without actually orienting the students, the people, to orient them and tell them that, hey, you're actually studying to make sure that you make a living. You're studying to make sure that you excel, not only in grades, but you're also studying to make sure that you can live a sustainable life, but you can also live to be a blessing to other many people. You can be as creative as possible. So because our education system most times is really is straight, like that, the curve is so straight. So most people are always thinking, okay, let me study and get this really nice job. And to the surprise, when you've just finished, there is no that best job that you've been looking for. And then you realize that, oh, again, I have now to go backwards and work backwards and try to, be creative here and there, be creative on my CV, be creative in my skills, how I communicate, how I present myself, be creative on how I network, be creative on how, just even also having just the self-esteem, So I'll just give you a story of how I started out. So in my senior six vacation, when everyone was looking to, to be employed, when we left senior six, everyone was saying, okay, we are going to get jobs. But everyone was really hit and surprised that there were no jobs for senior six vacation, vacists. So that's when I picked up myself, and I remember I asked for 50,000 shillings from one of my brothers, and I didn't know what to do. I just said, let me go to a Wino market is one of the markets that in town. And I went and started buying clothes there. I remember I bought about 10 tops and a bag of 24,000, and I did not have transport to take me anywhere. So I just went to on Ginger Road and got on the next taxi to Bugolobi. I didn't even know, I had not even planned that I was going to Bugolobi, but I just got on a taxi and I went to Bugolobi and started selling. I had only 1,000 shillings in my pocket. Lucky enough, it could take me up to Bugolobi. So when I started, I started selling. I remember the first day I sold about 6 tops. And then the next day, I actually put back the money and sold. Now, to cut the whole story short, I actually started to make real money. That in about 3 months, I had made enough money to start buying my own clothes like bells and start selling them. So I would check in. Sometimes I would check in my friends, and then I'm like, okay, how is it going? Did you get a job? They would say they have no job. So, but for me, I was making money. I was actually having real-time experiences. I was learning how to sell. And I think for me, that was a really, really big experience. Up to now, I really apply it. And I tell people that before you graduate or after immediately graduating, the most important thing, the first important thing is to make sure that you get something that pays you. It could be maybe you create it. It could be working in a relative's business. It could be something. But for you to survive, you have to first make sure that you have something that can keep you afloat. You have something that puts money in your wallet. I am not saying that people should not look for jobs. You don't look for graduate trainee jobs. But you see, one of the most and the biggest causes of frustration is when you graduate and you find yourself still seated at your mother's house, still seated in your father's house, and you don't have anything coming in. You're even you are asking for data, you're begging for data, you're begging for airtime. It's really a terrible place to be in. It's not a good one. And once you find yourself in that kind of place, then you really have to know that there is something you're not doing right. And as fresh graduates or people who are looking to start their career, I really, really would like to just let you know that the talents that you have can actually be converted into money even before you actually get that job that you're looking for. Who knows? Sometimes when you cash in on your talents, you might not even be looking for a job. I have one of the things that I have actually told myself that much as you're helping people to get into the job market, you have also to help people to be job creators, to be employers. You know, those who want to be in the job market, it's fine. The tools are simple. You have to have a very good attitude. You have to have a very good CV. You have to have you have to learn how to write your CV. It's really, really important. So for me, it's really an important aspect for someone to understand that where I'm going is like an ocean. And it's important to really plan out my journey. What am I going to do from the start? If I have just graduated, what am I going to do? How many companies do I want to approach? How do I want to start? Do I want to start with a straight job, or do I want to start with a graduate trainee opportunity? Do I want to start with a volunteer opportunity? But I also want to tell you that as time goes on, the job market has become so competitive that even a volunteer opportunity is so hard to find. So what do you do? Over to you, Coach Samuel.
Thank you so much, Moses. Even as you're trying to share, I think you're being very honest with what is happening. And I like how you sharing your story and telling us that you went to a window and had to storm the market. I think, Moses, the job market is not different from the market, like Owino market. I think we are selling value at the end of the day. So if the value from the value that is related to your work is not available, I think that question is really important to ask yourself, what else can I offer to the market? Or what kind of value can I really give out to the market? And I'll tell you that your story is not a bit different from mine. When I left university, one thing I promised myself is I'm not going to go back to the village. Maybe to give you a background, I came to Kampala for education, and if I was to go back to the village, my village is in Jinja. Jinja may not be a village, but it is a village to me because that's where my parents are. So I did not want to go back there. And I promised myself that I'm going to do all that it takes to be able to get something that could just get myself busy. And I said either it is just doing any kind of buy and sell. I used to do a lot of buy and sell at university. I would buy books and sell to my fellow students. And I did also photography, taking photos of students and printing them and selling to them. So I told myself, I'm not going to accept getting back to the village because I came to Kampala. This is a land of opportunities. I have to do all it takes. And for me, that attitude, I think, helped me. So even when it came to organizations like where you were trying to share, I was really open to any kind of organization as long as it gave me a good start. And I was not also afraid to start small. Today I shared and said I graduated with a first-class degree, but I was not afraid to start small, even if it was a small organization. And that is how I found myself applying for an internship role after I had done internship for over 2 years during the time at university. So I was applying for another internship, and I didn't know that this internship would later actually turn out to be something different. So I think, Moses, you've brought out something very clear, the attitude that we get into the market. If you come with an entitlement attitude that you have that degree, you cannot do any kind of job, you already have a picture of what job you should be getting. I think the market has really changed, and Moses has really put it clear. So Moses, I just want you to just speak into the search for now the jobs. I know there are quite a number of entry jobs that are on the market. Also leveraging on your experience, how does somebody get into the system? And I know that one of the things, Moses, especially for people who are just leaving campus, and I've seen quite a number of them responding in the chat box here, most of them are afraid of the word called experience. So when they see a job with experience, you'll find them posting, writing a lot of things. How can you ask me of experience? I'm just out of university. Where do you think I'll get all this experience? I want you to just speak into that aspect of how does somebody get their CV and cover letter into place for them to storm the market, even as they do whatever work they are doing, but how do they get there?
I think it's, thank you very much, Samuel. Again, experience, when, I deal with human resource managers every day because I am, like Samuel said, I am the director of PR and marketing for the Human Resource Managers Association of Uganda. But it's really important that you gather every experience. When you've just graduated, it's not a must that you must have worked from a company. Everyone knows you've just come from Makerere University. And Makerere University, as you started your whole journey, what did you do? I mean, did you only attend lectures? Okay, let me say you attended lectures, but still you went for internship. So maybe internship is your experience, it's what you have. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in putting it there, and also put what exactly you achieved while you are being an intern. It's really important. And as well as while you're waiting out to really grab that beautiful opportunity that you're looking at, try to volunteer, try to do certain, work. Volunteer somewhere as you get more skills. But also, it's very important. It's very important not to feel like you've graduated and you're probably, oh my God, I am top of the shelf. The job market is going to want you to start from the bottom. And sometimes it's good just to be humble enough that someone would be able to pay you like 200,000, 300,000, 500,000, or 1,000,000 shillings, depending where you start from. I know that there's a lot of people that have the attitude like, oh my God, how can I work for 300,000? But remember, you're actually getting paid to get experience. You are getting paid that 300,000. Someone is paying you that 300,000 to get experience to put on your CV. So it's important not to look at whatever small job that you might get. For example, Swift Minds tells you, come and be a project admin. We are going to give you maybe 400,000 or 300,000. Where do you come from? Swift Minds is in Tinda, and maybe you come from Chiwatule or you come from Namugongo. If that 300,000 can cover your transport, find other ways that you can actually make yourself at work so that you can actually gain the experience. I am not saying Swift Minds pays like that. We don't do like that. But what I'm saying is that, I mean, you're going to find a lot of challenges in terms of getting your first sweet spot. And if you can find somewhere, Amir wouldn't actually have a problem, even if it was my mother who has a company or who is doing what, as long as I am there and I'm getting to learn, have some experience. For example, if someone did IT or accounting and finance, like Rita has said in the chat, Rita Katusime, what is wrong with you being in your mother's company and you do for them some accounting books? What is wrong with that? At the end of the day, when you're writing your CV, if your mom's company is called M&L, let's say M&L Traders or M&L Services, you definitely have to put your M&L Services, you are an accounting officer at M&L Services. Now, I need to know, what were you doing at M&L Services? Were you filing taxes? Were you filing NSSF? Were you filing VAT? What were you doing? Because these are the same things that people are doing even in big companies, just that big companies are more streamlined. They have more systems. They are more robust. But these are the same things that are being done. An accountant wakes up in the morning and they have to file taxes. They have to file NSF. They have to, show a balance sheet. So that is what I expect you to write. Even if it's your mother's company and it's M&L, don't fear to go in your mother's company. Some people say, I cannot work for my mother. I cannot work for my brother. But hey, you're looking for that experience. And you see, you cannot get that experience anywhere else to put on your CV. The nearest opportunity is what you take. The nearest mangoes, the closest mango on the tree is what you get. And then you start developing your CV. Remember, your CV is not written in stone. You'll find that as you start, as you start, you'll put M&L. But as you progress, probably you'll even remove M&L because you've amassed enough experience and you'll want to sell yourself better than maybe you have sold yourself 5 years ago. So it's good to grab the next opportunity. If it's volunteership and you can actually get yourself to the company and work there, please go, because the first experience is really important. Let me tell you, for me, my first experience was that I worked at a company and I was a translator. Okay, I had gotten a bachelor's in business administration. I majored in audit out of this country. I was speaking French. I spoke all, and I was feeling all cool. But the first job I ever got was to translate from English to French. And I didn't care because I wanted the experience. I wanted to also interact with people. I wanted to be out there working. And it was important for me actually to start and be a translator. And guess how much I was being paid? I was being paid about $70 a week. And that was about $200,000, 200,000 UGX. That is what I was earning a week. Well, in Uganda, probably that seems to be a little bit something for someone who is starting out. But for me, because I was out of the country, it was really peanuts. But I had to work. I had to go out there and make sure that I get the experience that I can put on my CV. So out there, what are you willing to give up? Are you willing to give up your pride? Are you willing to give up your ego and start as small as possible? Now, starting small as possible does not mean that you're going to stay in the same place all the time. I usually tell people where you start from. In fact, once you learn what you really wanted to learn, move to the next company, because usually the start for most of us was not really, it was ugly, it was not nice. So we could not settle for less. We had to move to another place. We had to move to get to a better structured company so that we learn more and more. What do I say and how do I conclude in this point? Start as small as possible. Volunteering, getting the smallest salary, but you're getting the experience in the market that you'll be able to use on your CV.
I was trying to listen in here, and you see, one thing that is really common, Moses, is that we when somebody sees you 10 years later, and sees you where you are, they think you started from there, forgetting that you actually started from somewhere. You tried out and you were open to any opportunity as long as it got you in. And as I was trying to share, and even as you were trying to share how much you earn in your first job, I remembered my first job gave me 270,000. And this was that same internship. Now, what happened is I see this job advert. Where do I see the job advert? I see the job advert at MOOPS. There was a notice board where they used to post adverts. So this organization comes and posts internships for graduates. So I saw the advert, and for me, because I had a positive attitude and I really wanted to get in anywhere, I said, let me apply. So when I applied, I did not know that they were even paying me some amount of money. I think I went for this opportunity. I was interviewed. Then along the way, they asked me, so how much is your salary expectation? And I was like, oh, they actually even pay money for being an intern. So that is one of the things that opened my mind. But when after on, of course, I told them a very small amount, definitely, because I was not even expecting them to pay me an amount. So later on, they give me the offer and they give me that amount. It was actually 370 per month. And I was working quite a distance. I was working in Mengo, those were in Uganda, and I was staying in Ibanda. It was quite a distance. That is money that could actually be eaten up in transport and other things. But I was willing to work because I usually have this mindset that whenever I take on a new job, it's not that job that I should have focus on. I look at the opportunity around the job. And for me, that is what happened. When they gave me that 370, I asked myself, how long is the internship? They told me the internship is 3 months. I promised myself that after the 3 months, I need to have proved myself, not to be let go. So somehow, as I'm there, the accountant resigns. And the accountant, because they were leaving, they needed to hand over. They trained me and handed over to me, who was just coming from university on internship. So that opened my mind, and I was like, if they are handing over to me, then I need to be in this role. I need to do this. So I did my best. One of the things you've shared about experience is, Moses. When I was looking for my first job, I was a student leader at university. And I was also part of the Accounting Students Association of MOOPS. I also participated in quite a number of other associations like Africa Youth Leadership, guiding students in very many things. So that was the experience that I included on my CV, of course, with some internships that I had done previously. But those credentials are what I included, and they're partly what got me into the system. So what am I saying? I'm saying that you do not have maybe professional experience, but there's certain experience that you have that you can leverage on. And like Moses said, you should be ready to start small. I started small. Let me tell you, I started in around, I think that was around, because I got the job before I even would finish my exams. So I started my job after exams, which was around June. So I did June, July, August, September. I finished my internship around September. They gave me an extension to still remain around. And by October, I was signing a contract as a full-time staff, moving from 370 that they were giving me. Now the contract had 1 million. So I was even, by the time I even graduated, I was really ahead of my friends because, one, I applied for something I was not sure that I would be paid, and I was willing to volunteer. But 4 months down the road, my attitude was actually paying off because I was now having a permanent role for myself. So I think whatever you're sharing, Moses, I think is very important. People need to have a positive mindset around opportunities. and not have a lot of expectations, because there's a saying that work work is within those works that you see. You basically have to unfold whatever you see. Opportunities are within overalls, kind of called work. I don't know what the right quotation could be, but for you to break into the market, sometimes it may not be a clear route that you're going to apply and enter in. Sometimes it's just going to be a volunteer role, an internship. Sometimes it's just going to be that opportunity where you just offer yourself accidentally and you get in. So I just wanted to add that voice on that. So Moses, I know that our people have a lot of questions around CVs. Um, and from your side as a recruiter, there are quite a number of things that you've seen in the application. I myself have also seen where somebody's just dropping you the CV, they're using funny emails, their CV is just like they just woke up and put things together and shared with you. There's also online systems where someone has to put in their details and you look at the details and you're like, is this a graduate or this is somebody who has just finished senior 3? Could you just speak onto that aspect for our fresh graduates?
Sorry, I was just opening something here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please.
All right, so I'll just share something quickly here. I hope that I can be able to share. I don't have sharing rights, but okay, I could just speak to it. Could you grant me sharing rights?
Please, 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 please. I can actually give you the rights if you wanted to share, but by the way, that should be okay. Make a host. Please, you can now share, Moses. It would be good if at all you have something to share it. It would be good.
I came very armed to share.
Please, you can share your screen. You're now a co-host of the session.
Okay, something here very quickly. Okay. Share my screen. Yeah, the screen. Okay.
Okay, it should be coming through.
Come
Thank you. It's coming through. Okay, right there, Moses. It has come.
Okay, so well, I know that people on the call I really wanted to they want to learn and how to write CVs. So one of the things that you have to do is really understand the purpose of a CV and cover letter. What does the CV do? The CV speaks where you're not, okay? And probably someone out there maybe wanted me to share something about the CV, which is quite okay. The CV speaks where you're not. And for example, if you gave me an opportunity to just share my story, I would share my story, like, for example, my genesis and where I have gone, my exodus, my genesis and exodus, where I have been, what I've done, what I've achieved. That is exactly what your CV says. That is what exactly your CV is supposed to do. So know what to do, what to include in the CV and what you include in the cover letter. The CV, number one, so what I wanted to share very quickly was just basically to know what is the purpose of the CV? What can you include in the CV? How do you structure the CV? How do you target your CV? And what kind of support is available? So the CV is your marketing document. Sorry, I'm trying to remove this pen here. Okay. So the CV is your marketing document. and subjective and personal to you, and an update portfolio of your skills and experience, which are relevant to the job. Very many times I have, or we have received CVs when someone is applying for a different position. And then when you look at the CV, how the CV is being structured, it's really not speaking. For example, I know that fresh graduates usually go for starter jobs like sales. You see any sales job, you just apply. So you need to know, how do I structure this CV really? I remember when I applied for my first job for sales, I actually included my sales experience in my senior six vacation. Can you imagine? I was I was done with university, but I was applying for a sales job. And the first experience I put was when I was actually selling clothes in my senior six vacation. So understand how to structure your CV, understand what is the purpose of the CV, what kind of job are you applying for. So it is designed to have you an interview, not a job. Your CV gets you into the interview room. So make sure that you speak exactly what the person wants without lying, of course. I know that people end up just come from university be like, now I don't have the experience. Should I lie? Just be as exact as possible, but also use some kind of language that will get you the interview. Persuasive sales document selling selling you the product to or selling you as the product to the employer. Okay. Let's just go to very quickly, because I didn't want to really overbore you with a presentation. So why would your employer want your CV? One is basically to shortlist you, to see how you present yourself on paper. Presenting yourself on paper is really key. If you're on this call and probably you're not a fresh graduate, I would still say that presenting yourself on paper is very key. And usually people say, if you cannot write about yourself, then you cannot do yourself. I mean, you cannot do what you must be able to express who you are. So it takes only 15 seconds to skim through your CV. Like us, who have been in recruitment, and people who do recruitment, they'll only look through 15 seconds. They probably are looking for certain qualification, they're looking for certain experience, and they're looking maybe for some kind of words that they should be saying. So if they don't see that, your CV will be thrown away. And nowadays, you see the people use software, and you see that software looks for keywords. If there are no keywords, then you're off. Your CV will be out. Those keywords usually are in things to do with relevant experience, relevant training, or relevant qualification. And experience can be maybe sales on what. So those things. Does the person speak French? Does the person speak Lusoga, for example, if they're going to work in Jinja? So be looking for those keywords. So your CV needs to match the employer's requirements. Really, really. So if you're just going to send a CV that I need to a sales job, or I need an internship job, but it's not actually speaking to the requirements, then you're off. Okay, so an effective CV is the one that is targeted to the job which you are applying for. It is accurate, interesting, and up to date. You must accompany it with a cover letter, which shouldn't be so long. Okay. How do I achieve this? Identify the employer's criteria. What are the key skills, experience required for the post? Select appropriate evidence from any aspect of your life, to show that you match their criteria. You're telling a story. Again, you're telling a story. And so this is an example of a CV, and I just wanted to give you a very quick summary of what your CV should look like. One, there are so many times where we receive, or people receive, or HR managers or hiring managers are receiving CVs with no contact, sincerely. So your contact should be up there, your details basically. And nowadays you should also maybe include your LinkedIn profile. Someone wants to reach out and maybe see your picture. Meanwhile, nowadays when people are recruiting, they actually want to see, they check your name on LinkedIn to just see how you look. It's funny. This is actually a secret. Sometimes someone just wants to see how you look. You might be looking gloomy and what, and how your picture is looking, and be like, ah, yeah. This one might not really be a good fit. By just looking at your picture, okay. It's a prejudice. Sometimes it's not true, but they really want to use your live CV. LinkedIn, your LinkedIn profile is like your live CV. So, and then the skills, you really want, okay, some people want to put a summary. So look at this summary. Recent university graduate with a passion for equity markets, asset-backed securities, and client relations, seeking to acquire the appropriate knowledge to provide investment opportunities tailored to the wants and requirements of my future clients, driven by creativity and unorthodox methodology. You really want to put a little bit of a summary that shows your enthusiasm, shows how focused you are. Sometimes I find so many vague summaries. But talk about, if you are an IT graduate, talk about your IT skills. I am a recent IT graduate with skills with skills in Oracle, in Word, in Excel, and what. I am enthusiastic about data analysis. I'm a data analyst, things like that. Because, I mean, who doesn't want to have a data analyst at their workplace as an intern somewhere? Who doesn't? Okay. So put your skills there, what kind of skills you have, adaptability, Microsoft Office, analysis or research, leadership, teamwork, just put the skills, and then the experience comes next. What is your experience? Maybe you did internship with Uganda Development Bank for about 6 months. You can put it there and also list. I was analyzing data, analysis of data. I cleaned up data worth this much. I cleaned up data this much. I led a team of data collectors and I did this and that. During my internship, I was very key in the project X. In what I did and what we achieved was this and that. Okay, put your experience. Your experience might not be much. Okay, for example, when I read here what this guy put, he was at Foxco Investment in October 2016 to April 2017, in charge of the promotional products for the Bank of Montreal, various locations of Montreal area. Okay, then he puts offshore admin desk collaborator. Okay, in April 2015 to August 2015, collaborator at International Affairs Desk for Offshore Company Administration. Quickly took care of a number of desk clients personally, ensured correct liaison for the clients of the desk and their respective banks. And I made sure, for example, you might add, I made sure every client was happy and every challenge of the client was attended to. And it would make me uncomfortable to see any client walk away when they are not happy. So I made sure that every time our clients walked away smiling. You really want to put in a little bit of customer service. Then your education comes next, and then your maybe extracurricular activities or things that you are invested in. Sometimes someone may be recruiting you, they're a football fan or they're a footballer, and they say, oh, this guy is a footballer. Maybe when we hire them, I might add them to my team. So things like that. Don't forget the language. Make sure that you put the languages that you speak. Most times, sometimes maybe in Uganda, the job that you get, maybe it requires extra local languages, or it requires maybe Swahili. Put the language that you understand and you can read and write. And yeah, if you have any words, also make sure that they're on your CV. But however, I don't want to go to another slide, but there are things that you should not put on your CV. Things like I am a Munyankole by tribe. Things like I am female by gender. Things like I am there are things that discriminate you from the beginning, even before someone gives you an opportunity forward. So avoid putting things like your tribe. Avoid putting things like I am married with 5 children. Okay, you might put you're married, but well, if I've not asked, maybe that should come up in your interview. I don't want to see your children or something. There are certain things that shouldn't be in your CV. Just make it as brief as possible, as professional as possible. So, well, Coach Samuel, that's what I wanted to really share very quickly. Your CV should be a summary of where you have been, what you have done, what you have achieved, where you want to go. Is basically what you put in your summary. So make sure it flows in a summary, your skills, your experience, your education, and maybe your culture, the extracurricular activities, language, and awards. Most people want to start with education, but I'm not interested in your education first. I'm actually interested in seeing where you have been, what skills you have. And then if I'm so interested, if the first part is really so interesting, then I'll look at the degree which you have. Then I'll look at the other certifications that you have. Then I will look at the language. By the time I reach at the language, I know that you know that I'm really interested. So guys, I have given you this as a sample CV. Make your CV as simple as possible, but also write it in terms of achievement. In terms of achievements, what have you achieved? If you are dealing with data, how much data were you dealing with? If you are dealing with a data project, what was your role? What role did you play? What did you achieve? If you went on the project, how much money did you save? Because how much money did the project save because of your presence? So those are things that we really want to see when you are writing your CV. Coach Samuel.
All right, thank you so much. This has been very insightful, and I like the fact that you already shared with us is your screen, and people have been following quite some good comments coming through here in the chat box, and there are also some people who are following through on YouTube, which is very good. Somebody, I think, is saying you speak about the attachment on CV. Maybe I'll just allow you to just comment on that, then I can come through.
The attachment on CV. Let me just talk about, terrible CVs. For example, when you look at what is on your screen, there is people who just write their CV anyhow. I want you to take a very good look at this CV. Someone writes name, date of birth, address, telephone, sex, marital status, nationality, and then they go education, then they go, work history. Everything is jumbled up. Okay, it's really important to, space up your work, but also don't give a lot of detail. I just want you to give me your name. Your date of birth, I may not also need it per se. I will ask for it if required. Address, yes, I might need it. Your telephone number, I might need it. The sex, no, because by the virtue of your name in Africa, we might actually automatically know that you are female. So marital status, single. If it's not asked for, don't put. Nationality, unless if it's an international role that they require you to put your nationality. It wastes a lot of time. So really make sure that you format your CV very well, and all your experience, your experience is there, your achievements are all well detailed. So it's really, really important. So I also wanted to share about targeting your CV, the skills and qualities most requested by employers. I want you to, as you write your CV, I want you to make sure that self-management is really reflecting. And that comes in terms of the achievements. How did you save time? How do you save time? The communication, how do you communicate? Putting that I'm an effective communicator is not enough. Someone who puts that I respond promptly to emails, I respond promptly to my calls, I respond promptly to business calls, business emails, business texts. will be demonstrating better effective communication in that CV than you putting, I am an effective communicator, I am an effective leader. What shows? Because the CV cannot show that you are an effective leader. So instead of saying you're an effective leader, say, I work well with others. I beat deadline and make sure that deadlines are met. Throughout my experience, I've made sure that every project I've worked on, I have worked under the deadlines. I have met all the deadlines and all that. So employers really want to see your problem-solving skills, your creativity and innovation, your self-awareness, social and cultural and global awareness, and then the application of IT. What do you know in the IT language? Are you AI driven? Do you know some AI language? Do you know Microsoft suite or package? What do you know? There's a number of people that have graduated or graduate when they cannot even, write a simple command in Excel. So it's really important. So again, going back to what the other person, going back to what the other person was saying, let me just close this. Going back to what that person was asking, attachments on the CV. I think it's talking about attachments on the CV. I don't think that you should be, well, it's okay actually to attach maybe your transcript, because sometimes people want to know whether you have studied or you finished studying or not. But it's really also important to make sure that your CV outlines everything. Sometimes we are filling up someone's inbox for nothing. Okay? You're filling up people's inbox for nothing. If no one said attach your degree, don't attach it. It's not useful to attach. Just make sure that your CV is well written. It talks about your experience, it talks about your ambitions, it talks about your education, it talks about your skills, everything. If I am interested, I'm going to ask you to share. Okay? Sometimes employers are straightforward. They will tell you, please share your CV plus your documents. It's fine. If they have not asked, please don't bother, because you just be filling up people's inboxes. And it's not really good. And also, you'll be spending a lot of money on data for nothing. You attach a file of maybe 3 MBs. It's a lot of data that goes wasted. So when you're attach what is really needed. And please, this one I want to share with you kindly. When you're applying for jobs, make sure don't send your CV in Word. Sending your CV in Word looks funny, it looks unprofessional. Make sure you turn that CV, write it properly, format it properly, and put it in a PDF. It's easier to be read, it's easier to be relatable to, and name your CV properly. Trust me, we usually receive, you advertise for a role and receive someone's CV, and it's called CV. Can you imagine? Samuel, can you imagine? Someone send a recruiter CV, and the CV it's called CV. Okay? Some people say CV 2025. So make sure that you make the employer or the hiring manager's work as simple as possible. It's really key, guys. I think that for us, we made these mistakes and we wouldn't want you to make the same mistakes, because we are here to support. We are here to really guide where possible. Over to you, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Moses, for sharing. And some virtual hand claps for Moses for sharing. He decided to just share his screen to be able to bring the point home. And when he was sharing, there are quite a number of thoughts that came to my mind as well. I happen to have supported quite a number of people, especially recruiting people who are accountants and the like, admins. And one of the things Moses has just mentioned, even how you save your CV. I'll just tell you that just ask yourself, you have over 1,000 people that have applied for the role, and you need management has given you timelines. You need 10 people to shortlist for the role. You have over 1,000 applications, and it can happen because there are quite a number of Ugandans that do not have jobs. So you have over 1,000 applications and you only need 10. If you were in your shoes, what are some of the things are you going to base on? And if you're submitting your CV, I want you to just think about it from that mindset, to ask yourself, if my CV was part of over 1,000 CVs, what would attract somebody to feel like I'm worthy a shortlist? I think that's very key. And Moses has shared about understanding that your CV is a representation of you. And while you're crafting your CV, it's also very important to have a job description in mind. I know there are quite a number of people, Moses, who send the same CV to over 20 jobs, not understanding that every job has its own job description. And just as every job has its own job description, get time to understand the job at hand and see what is within the job description and how can I craft myself. I'll tell you that if the job description is saying somebody should have had some leadership experience, even if you are a leader at church, this is the opportunity for you to include it. I usually tell people, even when you're writing your summary or writing your CV, make sure that your advantages are placed first before things that disadvantage you. So like Moses said, some of you attach transcripts, but you have low grades, but you're attaching transcripts. Already you're biasing the recruiter who is going to say, why is this person even applying? Yet you would have gotten a chance to enter into the shortlist and get into the interview room, and your papers can come later on. So unless your papers are requested for, please do not attach them. There are also ATS systems that do not work well with things like attachments, like pictures and so on. So when you attach them onto your CV, when the system is perusing through your CV to be able to make a summary, it gets errors. And that's why you see some people even go ahead to dictate, do not share your CV beyond these MBs. They even go ahead to tell you that make sure that as you're submitting your CV, include this subject in the email. Some of you, Moses just said that some of you just send CVs with the word CV. Some of you are so lazy to even write something within the body of the email. You just attach the CV, basically, to whom it might concern. Be polite. Show some professionalism. You do not know somebody. You've never met them. You see, there are small things that are going to make you stand out of the 1,000 that somebody will get interested and say, this is a professional graduate. I want to meet them in an interview. And somehow you get into the interview, even with, let's say, second class lower, but somebody who is, because they feel, I have a first class, so when I just attach it on my CV and it will open doors. My brother or sister, you have to understand the rules of the game. The papers, once a job is put out there and they don't put a first class or put a second class upper, it's a flat ground. And somebody who even has a lower, if they show professionalism, if they show up rightly and submit a CV, one impression, your CV, how it looks like, is very key. Moses already shared with us a short CV and an organized CV. The other also, I know that Moses were in the era of AI, and some people are not sitting down to prepare their CVs. They are going to AI and coming up with CVs for things that they cannot even be able to defend. I've been part of some recruitment where you see 10 CVs look the same. They just basically change the name. They just change the name and maybe change the phone number, but the CVs are the same. Make sure that even if you're using AI, personalize your CV. Let there be certain things. Let AI be your enabler, but personalize your CV. Moses has shared here and said that as you submit your CV, people are looking out for you on LinkedIn. I don't think we need to discuss more here. If at all, we do not mention about LinkedIn. I and Moses met on LinkedIn. Your next opportunity might be on LinkedIn, but even how you're showing up on that platform matters. I have had some people that I'm recruiting. I look at their CVs, I check them out on online, and the information that is on the CV is different from what is there. And then you're calling somebody and you're like, okay, maybe they have come for the interview and ask them, but your LinkedIn shows you worked for Sheraton as an accountant between this period, but I don't see this on your CV. And then somebody's like, oh, but I worked there, but it was not very long. But then you're already showing aspects of integrity immediately. So make sure that know that your online presence matters so much in this L&H, your personal brand. Whatever you're sharing online would either make you or break you. So I really want to appreciate that Moses has hinted. And there are quite a number of people that are just sharing comments here. To see the cover letters. Could you just comment on cover letters? I know you've mentioned something on CVs. And then after the cover letter,
Samuel, are you there? Hello, Samuel.
yes, Moses.
Yes, Coach Samuel, you're there?
I'm there.
Okay, so a cover letter is basically uh, uh, it's basically and nowadays, apart from some of the government institutions who ask for cover letter, some organizations it's really not necessary to write a cover letter. But yeah, it's important. First of all, a cover letter, if they tell you to address it to the hiring manager or if you don't know them, you might say, dear hiring manager, or if you know if they've told you to address it to the head of human resource, please make sure that you do write head of human resource. Some people are so particular. So make sure you put the head of human resource and also put their address as provided. If they have not provided, just say the head of human resource, maybe Kenya Development Bank or Uganda Development Bank, and then you put your address as well, put the date, put your number as well, and then start, dear sir or madam, then re-application for post X, and then, glad to, I am, just talk about yourself briefly. Glad to be writing, or keep it professional. It is a great pleasure to be writing to you this later, or to be writing to you in response to the job. It's a great pleasure to be writing to you in response to the job advert that you placed for this position X. I believe that I have the requirements that it takes, and in my description, or I believe that with my experience in this and that, with my education in this and that, I meet the requirements of the job. I am skilled in this and that, and I believe that my skills will meet your expectations. So as a cover letter, really, you really just summarize your experience, and then be quick to conclude and say you was faithfully, or you was so and so, you was faithfully, and then your name. Oh, and cover letter is a quick sell, statement. It's sort of a quick sell statement where you just you don't forget to tell the employer that I look forward to hearing from you and an opportunity to have an interview with your office or with your team to discuss how I could be of great value to your organization. So you be quick is basically to just remain professional, remain humble, but also make sure that in the letter you summarize what your skills look like, your experience, your education, and make sure that those skills really they align. The key skills align, and make sure that the key achievements also come out. So basically, you are summarizing what is in your CV. You just summarize what is in your CV, but in the most professional language. Now, the right words that you can use, anyone here maybe could even be having better English than myself, but you can use AI just to make sure that you don't copy everything AI gives you. You just, AI basically, nowadays people use it and they're too lazy to even, like what Coach Samuel said, they're too lazy to even edit out what AI has given you. AI is sometimes just there to give you an idea of what kind of language can you use. Gone are the days where you would struggle with language. I am perpendicularly standing on the ground and I am writing to you to make sure that your office is happy. Don't look for a lot of stuff to appease. Just go to AI, get what a cover letter looks like, get the right edit out the right language that you think fits you. Do not go to to AI and put in a cover letter for such and such a job and then you copy the whole thing. No. Actually, sometimes AI gives you opportunity to edit. For example, what Coach Samuel is showing on the screen. Following your recent advert for the position for the post this or position this in include the media where you saw the advert, or if you found it on LinkedIn. I would like to express my interest in this position. I hold, put your recent education or your education and several other trainings in areas of, so put the relevant trainings, like what I said, the skills. Okay. Again, Coach Samuel, thank you for this. In regard to my experience, I've gained expertise include some of the relevant roles you have undertaken similar to those listed in the job advert. Again, please make sure that you align with what was advertised in the advert. In business, we call it the TOR. The job description for people who are looking for jobs is the terms of reference in business. When people in business are writing proposals, you make sure that everything you're writing, and you'll see this as you progress, everything you're writing as a TOR, as a proposal, has to refer to the TOR. If you move out of the TOR, someone will be like, this one is trying too much, or they don't know what the TOR is saying. So the job description in this case is your TOR, is your terms of reference. So I have gained expertise and also include some of the relevant roles you have undertaken similar to those listed in the job advert. I have had notable achievements so make sure you really put also those achievements. Okay. I saw someone in the chat say that you talk about the achievements. If, for example, you help the company achieve by virtue of your presence in that company as the accountant or as the accounting officer or the finance officer, you help the company to save 100 million shillings through proper filing of taxes and timely filing of taxes. Make sure you put that there. Someone is going to say, oh, wait, our company could actually possibly save a lot of money from, save a lot of money from tax penalties. You understand? So someone wants to really relate. You're telling them a story. I saved the company 100 million. Previously, the company was getting penalties. Maybe previously that the company was incurring penalties up to 100 million. But within the 1 year that I've stayed with this within this organization, my previous organization, I have managed to reduce this by 80%, and with serious improvement and training. So please make sure that those things come out. Okay, again, so this person is saying, throughout my career, I have developed many skills like, so again, include them. Most times choose to be ambiguous. They say, I have developed proven skills in accounting. What skills, for example? What skills are there in accounting? Okay. So please list the skills. And then as well as, excellent, soft skills. So if you're a good communicator, how do you communicate? I get along with people. I easily network with people. I easily do this. I easily do that. So I believe in my educational background, skills, and experience will make a valuable asset to your team. Thank you for your positive consideration, and I look forward to the next steps of the recruitment process. So it's it's quite really very interesting how you want to lure the recruiting person if by any means you really want to make sure you put a dagger in their heart, you spear them in the heart. If they ever find time to look at your cover CV, you're going to pierce them. You're going to touch their emotional cord, because currently they're getting penalties. URA is on their case. NSSF is not being filed on time. The balance sheet is not looking good. You're putting a dagger in their heart. You're telling them, hey, the problems that you're currently having, this is your boy or this is your lady who is going to be solving them. That is the importance of the cover letter, that even if I don't look at your CV, you have already summarized, and I might as well just ask for your documents and be like, this person deserves an interview. Over to you, coach.
Wow. I like that should make sure that somebody who looks at your cover letter feels that you're the person who deserves the job. Again, I want to comment and say that the nuggets that are being shared with you here, Moses is a recruiter. So these are things that are really practical. They're not just theoretical that he has read somewhere and is just sharing. These are things that he does. And these are things that he also hears from the human resource association where he's a leader. I want to say that even for this cover letter, do not have just one cover letter that you send out to over 20 jobs. Make sure that, you see, for you to be able to convince me as a recruiter this other side that you're the right candidate, you need to be able to speak to me. If you've seen the job description and you've seen that one of your responsibilities is bank reconciliation, my interest would be to see something like that. You have experience around bank reconciliation, maybe in your cover letter. If they are telling you it's a marketing role, tell me about your marketing skills within the cover letter. I need to be able to see. Not the CV you send for customer service is the same CV you're using for marketing, it's the same CV you're using for data entry. Make sure that you do not just change the name of the organization, but you get down to fix some things, okay? Fix some things in you. One of the things that I did well, I was a fresh graduate, was I would always think and look at the job and say, what is that special thing that I have that could actually get me this job? What is that thing that makes me stand out from the rest, that I think if I mention it in my cover letter would help me find a job? Now, for me, by God's luck, I was helped that I had good grades. So I made sure that I fronted my first class within my CV.
Coach, I think your network
Now,
is
for you, if it's not
Your
the
network
first
is breaking.
class,
Coach, your network is breaking.
yours could be maybe need.
Yeah. So it seems Coach Samuel's internet. Are you back?
I'm back. Sorry. I'm back. So I was saying that make sure that you put your best self out there. Make sure that if something is of your advantage, you have an advantage over other people. Make sure that that does not miss out from your CV. So that is something that I was trying to bring forward because it's important. Somebody says, should I put this class of my degree? No, unless it favors you or unless it is a requirement. Some job descriptions will clearly put it that they are looking for certain class of degree. But if not, do not include it. And if it's not, if something is not so good that you need the other person to hear, like I told you, do not set things that are going to disadvantage you. I saw there are some questions that came through. One of the things that people usually make is when many people have been asking about attachments, and I know Moses mentioned about that, but I want to mention and say that do not get that word document and add attachments below. When you speak about attachments into your CV, I hope you're not meaning those, because that is going to make your CV document heavy. Even if somebody wants attachments, you'll attach them in the email the way they are. And do not just send an empty email. Make sure that this cover letter you've actually created, find some words that you would be able to pick and put them into the email body. When I was a recruiter, I could receive CVs and somebody has sent you an email, but they just attached their CV and that is all. So basically what happens is there's again another candidate who sends you their CV, but they even went on to write something. They picked some information from their cover letter and wrote something. So make sure that you find ways of how you can stand out by making sure that you write something at least. Do not just send a document as if you're sending to your friend. Some of you, the emails that you're using, make sure the email is in your name such that at least somebody can easily trace you. So I just felt I needed to just comment on that. But it's very important for you to make sure that the way you put out there is somehow way that reflects you. If they have asked for the attachments on email, attach them. And then when you're applying online, make sure that you also have it in mind that a system is going to go through your CV. And what do I mean by this? If there are 100 CVs, a system goes through those CVs, matching them with a job description. And it's able to give the user, let's say, the 5 best people that come out of that kind of process. So what that means that, the system just look at 2 things, just like the way you look at 2 individuals and you're looking for similarities. Still, they are looking into your CV to see what's the similarity between your CV and the job description. So that is why you need to make sure that you mirror the job description. If there are keywords that you need to make sure that you include in your CV, and do not lie, make sure that whatever you're including in your CV is something that you've actually done. So I want to ask Moses from your side, and I know somebody included it here and said, please just speak about interviews. For somebody who has not faced interviews before, and maybe they are going to do their first interview, what are some of those things that they need to have in mind in case they have gotten an opportunity and somebody has invited them for an interview? What do they have to do to make sure that the interview does not get out of hand. You know, it's so painful to go through all the process, and that day when you're given the opportunity to speak, to come to the interview, you either come late and you can't get in. I've been there. One time, Stanbic shortlisted me for, I think it was Officer Finance. And one, I did not see the email that invited me for the interview. I only received a call 30 minutes into the interview, and they told me the panel is ready. They are waiting for you. And I was like, about what? And they told me, you have an interview here at Stanbic. And I was like, I now remembered the opportunity that I'd applied. That time, even how I was dressed, I could not get into that interview. I asked them, can you allow me to just be 1 hour? The HR told me, unfortunately, we can't keep the panel waiting. So the interview moment is very important. Make sure that even as you apply, you check your spam folders of your emails. Some people are going to send you emails back through those spam folders. So just make sure that you are checking your emails always. Not include an email that is not active. So some of you have are lucky to have phones where you're able to get an interview. I want to again appreciate you for being here, for all those sharings you're sharing. Good to have you, Solomon. Solomon is an area manager with NSSF, who is here. He says that he wishes he knew these things before. Solomon is here as a member of the Transformation Professionals Club, as one of the soft skills experts. I don't know if Solomon is actually even there that could just hint on those soft skills, especially for our graduates. Solomon, are you there? Sorry for putting you on spot, but either you just unmute, you may not switch on your camera if you're not comfortable, to just comment on the soft skills that you think graduates should have as we have Moses back. Are you there, my brother? Solomon? Okay, maybe he's not in the right position to respond. But yeah, he's you need to follow him on LinkedIn. He really shares great content around soft skills. Just skills. Soft skills are also very key to be able to demonstrate, especially when, okay, someone we understand, but at least people should follow you on LinkedIn. Follow Solomon Owemi on LinkedIn. Is sharing some ideas there. And also, I know you'll share some ideas in the chat box as well. But good to have you, Solomon, as one of our principal members. And good to have quite a number of other members like Patricia, who have joined in. Patricia Dong is also, she's an audit associate. And we also have, we had Rosemary Rosette also, who was part of the call that maybe she later dropped off. We have quite a number. Waswa, are you there? You could take up.
I'm here.
Please.
So someone was asking about interviews. So interviews, it's usually an opportunity for you to meet the company, to meet the representatives of the company, to meet the hiring managers of the company. Number one, as a rule of thumb, reach early. It is important to reach early. Up to now, I still practice that rule. When I'm going for business meetings, I reach 30 minutes early. 30 minutes. Very important for me. Because it helps me to prepare, it helps me to open my notes, open my laptop, have a look at what I have to present, maybe remember what my winning pitch is going to be. So it's the same thing. If you're going for an interview, please go early. But also, before you go for the interview, have a look again at the job description and see whether you'll be able to answer all the questions there is according to what your experience looks like, but also according to what they will be asking for. For usually, it's important to ask yourself what you don't know. Because what you don't know is most of the time what they will ask you. They might ask you what you don't know. They might ask you what you don't anticipate. So it's good to go over and over the job description. And again, I also want to tell you that not all interviews go as planned. One time I went for an interview and the person just asked me one question. What is the pay formula that you can apply, that we apply on people's salaries? And sincerely, I had not come with a crammed formula. And when I couldn't tell the formula, the lady told me, okay, that is the end of our interview. And it went like that. And that is the most disappointing interview I've ever had. So sometimes interviews might not go as you planned, but it shouldn't stop you from attending as many as possible, because it is also experience. Attending those interviews is experience. So don't attend 1, 2, 3 interviews and you're like, these guys are usually asking us, they're always asking for interviews, but I'm not getting a job. It is really, really key that you show up. Show up smart, dress well, not overdress, but dress well. Be smart. If you're a person who likes ties, please put on, depending on the profile of the job, by the way. Because sometimes it's a job that doesn't require you to put on ties. So depending on the profile of the job, but always make sure that you're neat, you're smart, your nails are well kept, your ears. Sometimes people, when they are bathing, they don't bathe behind their ears. Please, 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 please. There's no way you can lead people, or you can create value when you don't create yourself value. Make sure your hair is great. So just be keen. You just be kept smart. Please, if you don't use deodorant, please use deodorant, please. You don't want to smell for people on Kwawa. I'm sorry to say this, but it's some of those things that really turn people off. You don't want to really have smelling armpits and all that funny odors. Just make sure that you don't over apply, very strong, don't apply very strong perfumes. Those are also very big turn-offs. Just apply something very subtle that may not really smell too much, but be smart and be there early, guys. It's really, really, it disorganizes you when you reach for an interview late. You're all sweating. Probably you walked up a hill before you reach the interview room. You're all sweating. You're putting things down. You're telling the interview panel, please give me. And then they will give you like 10 minutes. Please catch your breath. Please. I know you might be a new mother. You've just given birth, or where you're coming from is very far, but prepare, because at the end of the day, no one really cares. The interview panel doesn't care whether you just gave birth. The interview panel may not really care whether you come from far. They don't care. They just want someone who can represent themselves as a brand, to really associate with their brand as well. So please come early. Make sure you're clean, you're smart. Make sure that also go when your confidence levels are very good. I usually tell people, before you go to interface, you go to interviews, make sure you eat. Eat a little bit and make sure you're not hungry. You remember in the Bible where one guy sold out his birthright because of hunger? In most cases, when they ask you, so how much money would you think I will give you, if you had gone hungry, you will not even be able to discuss your salary. You'll, settle for anything. You'll be like, maybe like 700, maybe 500. Yet the job is giving like 2 million. So make sure you eat something and make sure you listen to something uplifting before you go for an interview. I am not saying you should be overconfident, but you should be confident enough and realize that if the company is looking for someone of your caliber, then they will hire you. You will not have to beg. You will not tell anybody, oh, Mbambi, you guys help me. Please hire me. I will turn out to be the best candidate. No. No one wants to hire a desperate person. Don't be desperate. Don't be hungry in real sense. Don't be hungry. Be smart. Be ready. Be on time. And make eye contact where possible when questions are being asked. Now, there's this question of tell me about yourself, where people go around corners, they go around Kalerwe, they come back, they go to Waise, they reach Kalangala. Tell me about yourself is just a brief about you summarizing your CV. My name is Waswa Moses. I am a career and business coach. I have a degree in business administration. I have a master's degree in strategic management. But before all that, I am a father, I am a husband, I have sons. Number, you go forward and talk about yourself, okay? I have worked in a number of organizations, but particularly I will talk about experience that speaks to this job. I have worked as a finance volunteer for starters with Bank of Uganda. I have also worked as a finance analyst. I went forward and worked with a finance analyst. Oh, you want to really start with the most recent and go down because that is the most logical order. So tell me about yourself is basically to summarize what is in your CV. But give yourself a maximum of 5 to 7 minutes. Actually, 5 minutes is enough for you to summarize. No one is going to be there waiting for you to talk about so many things and round and round. Then the other questions, before I give you back the microphone, the other question is, how much should we give you? Or, so how much do you think is your salary expectation? Or what is your salary expectation? Please be confident enough to tell the hiring manager that tell the hiring manager what the range of the salary is. I'll be comfortable between 1 to 3 million or 1 to 2 million. I'll be comfortable between 2 to 3 million. Based on the challenge within this job and what I have to deliver. However, should you have room that you need to discuss and negotiate this salary, I am available. But I am very confident that within that salary, I'll be able to deliver. I'll be able to be comfortable. However, I also welcome to fit within. If this salary that I've asked is probably below what your structure looks like, I am available to discuss. So make it a conversation. So don't feel like, okay, 300, 500,000. No. What is your value? Ask yourself, what is your value? Because at the end of the day, you're going to sell your services and you'll be paid for it. Okay? So don't undersell yourself. And again, don't oversell. You really want this job, but you don't want to show someone that also you did not come with a figure. For example, there's some people, they ask you how much, and then you're like, I believe that you have a company scale. I'll go with your company scale. What if the company scale is 100,000? Will you work? So those are really all sometimes vague answers given by people who have low self-esteem. So have high self-esteem, have your self-esteem and ask for what you think you're worth, but leave room for discussion and negotiation. Back to you, Coach Samuel.
Wow. Thank you so much, for that sharing. And I think what I would say, maybe just to add, I think you said somebody should have a value that they attach to their work. So do not just go for an interview, do some research, try to find out. You're not overpricing yourself, but you also understand the market, but you also understand what you have to offer. So do not get scared of the question. By the way, there are quite a number of opportunities I've gone for, and I have mentioned values, and they have given me those values the way I mentioned them. So do not also mention values that you know that are low, but you think that by mentioning low, this will help me get out of the competition. So make sure that you mention a value that you think you're comfortable with. Usually salary increments in organizations could take a year or two. So make sure that you're not just going for any kind of value. One of the things that is very key in your job search journey is be a strategic job seeker who is not just going to keep on job hopping in different places. Sometimes even when I'm asking for the salary, I'm not like Moses said, not go hungry, because when you're hungry, much like you ask for small value. Ask for value that you know that I'm comfortable earning this amount of money for the next 1 year, and I'll give this place my best. And it's also very good to understand what's the next salary ahead of me through your research. Like, for example, when I joined and they gave me 300,000, somehow after within a small period, my salary had gone up. But I was not, if I had so much either overpriced myself, even for just an internship role, maybe that would have been disadvantaged to me. So you need to understand, but also the organization you're going for as well. Because sometimes when you overshoot yourself, means that the organization is going to look at you from the perspective of either you're expensive. The organization also wants to have some room for motivation, for motivating you. So that's a question that may not have a direct one answer, but you keep evaluating. But at least do research. Find out, talk to somebody in a similar role in another organization, or if you have somebody in that organization, let them give you an insight. But even if they give you the insight, do not say the exact value. Make sure that you can. Some people go for a range instead, may say maybe between 1 million and 1.5. But much likely, if the lower value, the lower part of the range is what will be your value. The fact that you've started from a value to a certain value, if at all somebody is just looking for a low budget employee, they will definitely want to give you something that's a bit low. So that is what I can say. I know we are at the top of the hour, so I just want to call back Moses to just share his parting shots. I know there are quite a number of other questions in the comments, but TPC is a movement. We are not a one-off kind of session movement. So we have quite a number of sessions that we do and do hold around developing you. So if you're not in part of our WhatsApp group community, what I want to request you is to be able to reach out after here, such that you're part of our WhatsApp group community. Every week, we invite a great speaker like Moses to come and speak to us and to share insights. So I encourage you, even in the job market, to keep in touch with people of like minds, people that are going to grow you. And that is what TPC does, the Transformation Professionals Club. That our goal is to empower professionals to be able to earn, grow, connect, and all that. So make sure that you join our community so that we can be able to learn. We've had sessions around personal leadership. We've had sessions around personal finance. We will have a session around personal branding. So make sure that you follow through these sessions. Sometimes these are things that are going to encourage you, but also add some certain skills that you can leverage on when you're in your job search. So Moses, as you come through, one of the things that you and I agree is that out there it's not just a walk in the park. And I want you to be able to paint a picture and inspire, tell these people that about how the journey might look like, and what they need really to have in their mind within the market. I know there are some people who are part of this call, Moses, and in their mind, they already have this bias that there are no jobs unless you don't have connections. There are some people who are here who have already given up on life because they didn't get good grades. So they're like, I can't do it. There are people here who just are in that kind of state of, what next? What can I do to be able to survive? I just want you to speak to that person, even as we conclude, as well as your parting shots.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach Samuel. This is indeed a very great initiative, and it's great to be part of this kind of community because you learn. Opportunities are not only made of, opportunities are not only chest, but they are also made available. You know, as a person who has been educated, the reason why you're educated is actually to also create opportunities. But if you're set out to grow your career, to be in the employment market, I want to tell you that there is no easier start. For those of you who probably will find a good job or will find to start being paid maybe in Bank of Uganda, in USAID, Embassy of US Mission, maybe PwC, KPMG, where Coach is, you know, all those big places. Our market has a way of having you start from the, you know, the bottom of the food chain and then pushes you to the cream, slowly by slowly, okay? If you have an opportunity to start out in that big entity, good. But chances are you might be swallowed up because those entities are so streamlined. And then once you get to the goal routine, that delivery routine, you don't know how to deliver. But if you find yourself as someone who is starting from the bottom of the food chain, what you have to do is do not allow the market to determine how you grow. Plan how you will grow within the market. Have a plan, have goals, have organizations that you look up to grow and work for. Even as you skill yourself, for example, if you have a degree, please make sure you go add on a postgraduate diploma, add on a certificate, go and finish CPA if you want to pursue a financing career, do SCCA as early as possible, because the higher you go, the more that skills are actually required. Certifications are required for you to be promoted. Certifications are required for you to have a proper job. So it's really good to have a plan and tell yourself that within a year, I should have SCCA, or within 2 years, I should have SCCA. I should have CPA. Within 3 years, I should have maybe a certificate in project management. Within 4 years, I should be part of the PMI chapter in Uganda, the Project Management Institute in Uganda. Within 5 years, I should have a master's degree. Within 5 years in this market. But also, within 5 years, I should be able to work with a company like Bank of Uganda, or I should be able to work, I should be working with UN. So if you don't have those plans, the job market will swallow you. It will swallow you. It's like an ocean. So you need to have a plan and then start to pivot towards that plan. I have seen people who want to increase their salaries when they are like 40. But when you ask them for a certification to, you know, promote them, they don't have. And listen, it's a sacrifice. For those of you who have just graduated, probably even your parents or relatives are still willing to pay for you to upgrade. Please upgrade. There is something I wanted to talk about for the government jobs. For those of you who want to go for government jobs, please, if they ask you for a degree, provide a degree. Don't provide what I've not asked you. That is a tricky part of the job market also, the government. If you want to apply in the ministry, please, if it's a degree, provide a degree. Don't be rugezgezi and bring your masters. They will not shortlist you. But also, so be willing, be patient, plan your journey, but be patient in that this journey called growth. Waswa started out at the lowest. Me, when I came back with my master's and everything, I was speaking French and blah, blah. I started out at a job which was paying me 630,000 in Uganda. I had to be very patient. I had to just put away all my credentials, having been on a plane and no one cares. So I had to put down a plan and tell myself, let me start from the bottom and grow through the ranks. Okay, 630,000 shillings was very little money, but I had to grow through. I was very straightforward. When I came back to Uganda, I wanted to actually work with only consultancy firms because I wanted to be a consultant. And all the 3 companies that I worked for were consultant firms. And I learned how a consultant, brands themselves, how a consultant conducts themselves, how a consultant can write a proposal. That is why you see Swift Minds at the back of this presentation. Because me, I didn't just wake up and become CEO of Swift Minds. No, I planned it out. And when I say this, someone might say, but that guy is proud. No, this all comes with a plan. And if I told you what I'm planning right now, it'd be like, this guy is crazy. I have the faith that God is able to take me places. God is able to make this company work because I need to be able to employ people out there and to create impact. So plan. If you don't want to drown in this thing called the job market, have a plan. Which plan? Do you want to be a finance professional? If you want to be a finance professional and grow, then get everything that is required. Don't fear. Make the sacrifices, get the certifications, push yourself for CPA. Make sure you get done with CPA in the first 2 years of your career. Get it. Put it there even if it doesn't bring you a job or promotion, but put it aside. Put it there on your CV. Finish SCCA. Go to data analysis. Everyone nowadays is talking about data analysis, AI. Some of us are still thinking it is some story. There are so many AI tools. There are so many free courses. Learn AI. Do something. Upgrade yourself every day. That is done. Now I'm going back to the people who want actually to develop business. If you want to grow a business and you want to be a business person, don't waste too much time in employment. Go in employment, stay there for a few years, give yourself a target. Why? Because you also sometimes need to learn. You need to learn how someone conducts business, how business is conducted. But don't delay there. Most times, employment can swallow you if you really want to go in business early. So go in employment, give yourself time, maybe 3 years or 5 years, while you register your own company and say, whether you don't know what you want to, which services to deliver, but have a company there. Register it. Go to Owino, start getting clothes. Go to Chikubo, do something because a business finally grows whether you want it or not. So for me, that is what I can give you as parting shots, but don't fear. You have the grace of God. God is upon you. God has given you the abilities and he knows that you're able to succeed. God bless you. Over to you, Coach Samuel.
God bless you too. One thing, maybe Moses, as you leave, I want to appreciate you for the time and for whatever you've shared with us today. Quite insightful. Moses, some people would like to know how to reach you. I know that you're on LinkedIn, so some people who are on LinkedIn, Waswa Moses is the name. Just look for Waswa Moses. You'll be able to see his face. And please follow. He shares great content and he inspires. Moses, could you just speak on how people can find you and what you also do that, we have customers here who are part of the session and you've taught us about business. So it could be a great opportunity to just share what you do, even about Swift Minds. I know we have some people might be here, but they're in high levels, so they can influence. Even if it's a fresh graduate, I know that Your network is your net worth. So could you just share about what you do, Moses?
Thank you very much, Coach Samuel.
Okay, Moses has shared his contact.
So Fit Minds is a management and human resource consulting company. So we consult in so many projects, but one of the major areas of consulting is human resource, capacity development, training and capacity development, team building. We also do organizational development, business like HR manuals, review, salary surveys, organizational structuring. We also do project evaluation, project impact evaluation, end-line surveys, everything to do with management consulting. But however, at a personal level, I do coach people one-on-one, group coaching, staff coaching, motivational speaking. I'm also an event host, and I'm also pretty much a man of faith. So I preach the gospel sometimes. And I am also I'm a writer, so I do quite a number of things. And also I sing, and I'm a singer as well. I love music. So that is me. If you want to get more clarity, I've shared my number. I've shared my LinkedIn name. Please follow me, send me a message, and let's connect. In this journey, you don't really want to walk alone. So you really want to have some kind of accountability. You want to really do a lot of networking. You want to meet as many people, because God has put blessings in the hands of men, and they will bless you whenever you get to meet as many as possible. Thank you very much, and I wish you only the best. See you at the top.
Right, so thank you so much. I also just want to share my thoughts, even as we conclude. The world out there is waiting for your genius, and each one of us have that one unique thing that we can do better. Moses has shared quite a number of things he does. One thing that I will tell you, that when you get into the market, do not forget about your passion. Do not forget about your purpose, what you want to do. Even if the world defined which course you did at university, you might find that that passion that you have could be what would open doors for you. Today, people call me Coach Samuel Ibanda. A few people know that I do accounting as my role. That is what I do as my profession. But I found passion in coaching and mentorship. And I did this from 2015 when I graduated to now. So make sure that you do not take out your passion into the process. Even as you look for a job, find something that you love doing and just do it. The world has changed so much. AI is here. Recently, over 2,000 jobs were cut as a result of funds freeze from the US. As somebody who doesn't have a job, that should open your eyes that we are in a jungle. And if you're in a jungle, what it means that you have to find ways of how to survive within the jungle. Having connections. I know some of you might have already shared your CVs with your uncles, your brothers, and you do not get responses. I want to tell you that it is tough out there. Even myself, I have quite a number of people that reach out to me and say, Samuel, can you connect me? I do not have the opportunities. Once the opportunity comes, quite a number of people are already lined up to tap into these opportunities. But one of the things that I did, like I shared earlier on, I created the Transformational Professionals Club, which is aimed at creating an employee plus. If you're employed, you should not just think about the job. You need to be able to think beyond the job, to know that if I do not have a job, my life does not come to an end. It means that I can survive. Because even when you get into the job, one, it may not pay you the amount of money that you're interested in. You may not grow to what level you should be able to grow. So make sure that you position yourself, skill yourself. Like Moses said, we're in the era of AI. Make sure that you AI savvy. Even when you're in that interview and you're telling people that this is who I am and ABC, and you just mention the word AI into your introduction there, I have done several certificates, including artificial intelligence. Right now, businesses are struggling to find people that have an idea on artificial intelligence. Just idea. You don't have to have done a degree in artificial intelligence. Just having an idea puts you ahead. So make sure that you're doing those things that make you stand out. Like I told you, if you're writing your CV, if you're writing your cover letter, what is that unique thing that you're doing? Because you understand the market. And so you need to make sure that you position yourself rightly. Personal branding is not an option in this era and age. Everyone can come up with a very good CV using AI. But what is going to set you apart is showing up on LinkedIn, is making those posts. You've studied about accounting and you now start writing about accounting. Tell us about internal controls. Tell us about risk management. Share about your profession. Create brands. Right now, I'm a brand. I want to tell you that right now, some people are following this session on YouTube. But when I started my YouTube, I think around 2015 or whatever, immediately out of university. And I'm sharing my knowledge. I have another YouTube channel that is called Accounting Coach Uganda, where I share about accounting. That is knowledge that I learned from school. I basically understood that I'm not going to go back to the village. Either it rains or it shines. That is the same attitude you should have. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself and being there on TikTok, just scrolling through or going to Facebook or just LinkedIn, be a creator. Create something. Gather people. There's a saying that says that if you do not have an opportunity to get to the table, create the table and invite other people. When I started out in my public speaking career, I did not have an opportunity for people to invite me to speak. But right now, I have a table. I invite a speaker. I invite people like you to come and listen in. And I have created my table. Leverage on what you have. I was not a great speaker, but I knew that I needed to be a speaker. I needed to speak because public speaking, I thought that would be a skill that would put me ahead. Right now, there are opportunities that I've been able to just attract in my life because I did not accept to just be like anyone. I have worked with big brands, stand big that not give me the job, the finance role, about a through as their head business judge on one of their projects. And they paid me handsomely. But they did not give me that role because I was an accountant. They gave me the role because of my brand that I have put there. You have an opportunity to start right now because the world continues to have opportunities. A lot has changed. A lot has evolved. You can't be doing things the way your fathers did. You can't be doing things the way your grandfather did. This is a different setting. People are making decisions online. They're not just recruiting anyone. Basically, before even your CV finds you, your LinkedIn profile has already found you, has already gotten you into the space. I don't know what if you're getting what I'm sharing. There's a lot when it comes to the brand. Somebody will check out your profile and they will say, this is the person I'm looking for. Your LinkedIn profile, your photo, invest in that photo. Go to the studio and take a photo that best represents you. Because people are making decisions on you. People are Googling. Even for the opportunities you've applied, people are finding more about you. There's a lot of gold on the internet, and you cannot be a graduate and fail. Look at this post. This is one of the leading coaches in Uganda. Says, I finally met Coach Samuel Ibanda. You see what she says? Yes, I take bet on people based on what I see. And as I crafted that program, I thought that Samuel would add value. But I just want to bring your attention to just this, where it says, from Samuel's posts and YouTube videos, I kind of thought he'll fit our imagined style of delivery. We are only 28 minutes into the session, and I'm glad I took the bet. Where did the opportunity come from? It came from the videos I post on my YouTube. By the way, if you've not subscribed on my YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe. I think we have about 998. We should be getting to 1,000 tonight. But from his YouTube channel and his posts on LinkedIn, I thought he would fit. This lady gives me the opportunity, even before she would even ask for my academic documents. And here I was presenting to the NSSF staff. She even told me these are people who are over 40s because they are preparing their retirement. Actually, someone, who was one of the participants is here, part of the call. And I'm not even 40 or even 35, but because of my brand, I could stand before people that are of a higher age because I have positioned myself rightly. I'm not sharing this to brag, but I'm just sharing this as as a big brother to some of you. Many of you are struggling and have your hopes only in jobs, which jobs are not there. Already, there are quite a number of people that have graduated that are competing for the same job. As you pursue a job, position yourself. There's a lot to speak about the future of work. Work is changing. That organizations are no longer going to have you full-time. They're now going to have you as a freelancer. So you're going to look at companies as more of your customers. So if you're a customer and you are the business, how are you positioning yourself? I started out as early as I left university to build my brand. It is 10 years from that time. I will tell you, I'm glad I started early. And I'm glad I took that decision to do things different from other professionals. Stanbic wouldn't have hired me to do work for them. I would not have had an opportunity to be shortlisted and nominated under the new vision 40 under 40. I would not have had that opportunity that I've just shared with you. There are quite a number of things that are going to come to you because you're exceptional. Some of you have come out of university with good grades and you think the first classes will just make a way for you. You have to continuously find ways of how you are ahead of others. When you come to the interview and you're presenting and you're sharing whatever you're sharing, somebody should feel they deserve you. I usually call it, instead of chasing, attract. Make yourself so valuable that I think it's, who says it? I think it's Oprah. Make it that people cannot ignore your genius. Some of you are too good at certain things, but because you can't even make a post, because you can't even connect with people, you feel you're just there. You can't do life alone. And that is why I welcome you to the Transformational Professionals Club, because in this, I've created this community basically to help professionals like you to change your thinking about life. To know that despite, I think it's a lion that says, either it is whatever economy, despite whatever the economy, it will never eat grass. The same thing for you as well. When you enter into the job market, say, I do not know anyone. I may not have the best grades. I may not be the person who is more confident, but I have to work on myself. I know my weaknesses. They do not define me. I'll work on them. I'll be able to show up. I'll see a job advert, either it is at MTN, either it is at the UN, I'll apply. I'll show up. There are opportunities that I think we advertised, and immediately I we started shortlisting because the person wanted somebody immediately. So there are even people who are going to wait for deadlines to come. Yet organizations are looking for those people that take on the opportunity as soon as you see it, apply. Because sometimes they're not going to wait for the end of the advert to now start looking at whom should we hire. There are no rules that define that. You have to be different. You have to show up. You have to do your best. You have to be exceptional. Transform yourself. Get out of the confines and understand that this is what is going to change me. Look out for mentors. Mentors. And that's what we do at the Transformation Professionals Club. We bring resourceful people like Moses to share with you. Some of these things, even myself, I wish I knew them before. Maybe I would be very far. And I want to tell you, like Moses said, your start may not be attractive, but there's going to reach a time where you're going to be proud of yourself. There's a day I was invited for an interview. I was not even interested in the job because I was happy where I was. They asked me, how much should we pay you? I told them I want 10 million. 10 million. That was about 4 years into the employment world. We negotiated and they gave me a contract of 8.5. I had never earned that amount of money. I think my last pay was about, 5 million. But they were willing to give me more money. Why? I had had a professional qualification. I had my degree. I had upgraded. I had made myself exceptional, that even when I was in the interview room, I was speaking to exactly what they wanted to hear. My life changed. I did not take up the job because I was comfortable where I was. And by being comfortable, you now know what extra would have made me comfortable the other side. But I want to tell you that your start may not be easy. You may not be seeing the 10th stair of where you're going. But take the first step. Reach out. Say, I want to just volunteer, because it's that volunteering that is going to take you places. That is where the job is not going to find you seated at home. The job is not going to find you desperate wherever you are. It is going to find you actively involved in doing something. Even if you don't find somewhere where you're volunteering, start a business around your skill. Offer yourself as a freelancer to come through. Through helping that business, somebody will see your skills and will feel you deserve to be promoted to now a full-time staff. Or they will feel the necessity to recommend you, to speak about you and say, there's this good lady. She's very good at her work. She can actually do whatever she does. Opportunities are there, but it's just being able to show up rightly. There's one of our TPC members here, I think she's called Patricia. Recently, there's an audit firm that reached out to me and was looking for staff. And I had Patricia. I've never met Patricia in person. I even do not know where she comes from. She's a member of TPC, and I really appreciate her for coming through. But because I saw how she's hungry for learning, she puts up posts. When you organize these free webinars, she comes through, she participates. I was not afraid to recommend Patricia. And within a small time, she was signing her contract. There are opportunities that are going to find you because you have showed that you are beyond. This thing of reaching out to people, please recommend me, please also recommend me. You have to make relationships. You have to take decisions that are going to put you out. If it's a physical event, go there, show up, because you do not know where your opportunity is going to come from. It's not about the job advert that you think you're going to apply for and you get in. This world is not a straight line. It's not about terms, semesters that we've been going through. Like there's a test or there's an exam. Now is a time for you to figure out life on your own, to connect with the right people, to try out, to knock doors even when you see walls, to build your own doors when no one is opening for you. That is how the world works. You have everything. I want to say that in everything you're doing, make sure that you put your Almighty in your mind. To know that God has not placed you here for a mistake. There's a reason why you did that course, and there's a reason why everything is the way it is. What you need to do is to play your part as you believe in Him, because God can do wonders for you. He can bring you from somewhere and take you far. Some of us, we are where we are, not because we knew someone, but because we had the favor of the Lord. Because we took the faith to believe that I do not know anyone in this organization, but I'll apply. I'll leave the rest to God because I've played my part. Play your part. Just play your part. So whoever wants to be part of the Transformation Professionals Club, I've displayed the screen, but just in case you're not able to see the screen, our number is +256. You can note it somewhere, +256. And if you're joining in from another country, the code is very important. +256 70 380 3255. I'll repeat, +256 70 380 3255. Please just send a WhatsApp on that message, because we may not be able to talk to you directly, but just send a message. You can also send an email to transformprofessionals@gmail.com. You can also be able to find me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, and as well as make sure that you also follow me on different platforms. I'm also on TikTok. I use the same brand name, Coach Samuel Ibanda. So make sure that you reach out to me on those platforms, and let's connect. Let's remain in touch, and let's see how we can be able to grow together. There are certain things that I've experienced that I don't want you to go through. And sometimes it's just being able to, you may not need to talk to somebody. One of the things that I've done is watch someone. I already mentioned one of us here, Moses. Moses told you he's on LinkedIn. Check out him. He has great content that he shares every day. Some of you reach out and say, I want you to mentor me. I want you to mentor me. But you've never even consumed somebody's content. You're not even liking. I'll tell you that getting to people, certain people, has been through strategy. Just be strategic in how you approach people. Sometimes these are mentors that you want to approach. I've even written books, quite a number of books, but you've never even bought a book for that mentor, and you want somebody to mentor you. Somebody even has a program they are running. You don't even have time to watch their webinar, but you just want them to mentor you. For you want a special session for you. Myself, I do one-on-one sessions if you're interested, but they come at a fee. But there's a lot. Moses here, who has been part of this session, shares content. When you go to his page, he shows up every day. Every day he's sharing with us content. As he shares content, do not just consume. Be a creator as well. Shares content as well. Because it's through opportunities. When I was inviting Moses here, it's not because of his degree, because of what he does, but because of his profile. You see, he shares content every day. On average, he shares something. Come and interact. Come and share. Just go through, just create time. I know you'll say you don't have time, but you have time. Just create time. Just go through. You've seen things here. Just look for people. I watch people online. I break time. Sometimes I sleep late because I have to watch some video. I have to read books. That is what has made me exceptional. And I know I'm exceptional. Being working with a company I'm working with, KPMG, it's not just any person. And being a person who was awarded one of the best employees is not just something that comes easy. So make sure that you're totally different. So thank you so much for listening in. I know I've gone a little more, but yes, you're here. You signed up this because you want to learn. So I'm here to make sure that I share with you my heart. I should have done many things right now, but I had to put this webinar, and I've done this consecutively for the last how many uh, weeks of this year, even starting from last year. Not because make sure that you benefit, you learn something. You don't make the same mistake that we made. And maybe you may also be able to help other people in the future. And we shall make the world the better place. So thank you so much for listening in. I would like to hear about your takeaway from the lesson, so you can visit either my profile or the profile for Moses, to just share what are your takeaways, and let's be able to connect. In case you think there's somebody who can benefit from this message, the YouTube channel has the recording. Encourage them to be able to just go to our YouTube channel. In case this is your first session that you're attending as part of our webinars, make sure that you go to our YouTube channel. There are quite a number of videos that we have made on this channel. So make sure that you go there and watch and listen and see how you can grow. The YouTube channel is very powerful. Okay? Make sure that you go there and listen through and connect. Okay? So thank you so much for coming through. I really appreciate your time. I know you could be doing other things, but you decided to come through here. So thank you so much. And thank you so much to our speaker for sharing from the heart. And I know that you have left a mark on each one of us. There's no one who is above everything. Even myself, I've learned through the process. So let's make sure that we get there. I request we about how many of us here? We about 20 here to our YouTube channel. Maybe just to share one thing. So our YouTube channel is at 998, and we want to at least make 1,000 today. So we only have 2 subscribers to go to make it that. So I want to request that if you're part of this, you should just click on that. When you make it 1,000, YouTube makes this YouTube channel reach more people because of its value. So I've shared the link in the chat box. Just click on the link and go to the channel and subscribe. And if you're watching this as a recording, also just pause and look for the subscription button to make sure that you subscribe to that YouTube channel, so that we make 1,000, so that we can reach even more people. Thank you so much for doing that. And next Friday, we'll have another guest. So make sure that you come around and come with a friend as well. And let's see how we can be able to grow each other. And in case you need to find out more about how to join TPC, please just use the contacts that we have shared earlier on, or the contacts that we shall share in the description of our YouTube channel. Make sure you reach out, and we'll give you more details on how you can be able to sign up and become a principal member who is able to benefit from the sessions more, and able to ask mentors directly. So thank you so much, and I wish you the best. And let's make sure that we subscribe. So if you're done, thank you, Edgar, for subscribing. So let's make 1,000 tonight, and let's make sure that we support more people into the process. Thank you so much. We're actually already 1,000. So thank you so much for the support. But keep subscribing and keep inviting more people. Please share with other people, and let's be able to grow together. Thank you so much, and may God bless you in this journey. It may be tough, but he will be able to take you through. So blessings and bye-bye.
I know you have seen it on a